Hey guys, Emmanuel here, and before we jump into this video, I just want to ask you guys to hit the subscribe button and leave a like on the video. I'm going to give you guys a second to do that. Okay, now that that's over, Kevin Durant is on a trading block. That we all know. That's been the talk of the NBA world for the last 2 weeks or so. And we know that a lot of teams want his services, right? Kevin Durant in particular has said that he wants to either go to the Phoenix Suns or Miami Heat, right? And he is a very talented guy. He's a very talented player. And because of that, he's very pricey. He's pricey on the market, right? So the Brooklyn Nets are going to be asking for a bargain, right? They're going to be asking for an arm and a leg for Kevin Durant. So today I wanted to make a video to assess what Toronto, right? Because Toronto is the other team that has come into the forefront about landing Kevin Durant, right? So what is Toronto going to have to give up for Kevin Durant, right? Now, we know that the Brooklyn Nets are driving a very hard bargain when it comes to Kevin Durant, because it's been reported that prior to the Minnesota Timberwolves trading for Rudy Gobert, they had talks with the Brooklyn Nets about possibly acquiring Kevin Durant. Now, the Brooklyn Nets, guess what they asked for Kevin Durant? This is what they asked. They not only asked for Anthony Edwards, but they also wanted Karl-Anthony Towns too. They wanted to gut the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like, that is bold. That's insane. Of course they said no. What did you think they were going to do? If any sane person would say no. Now, if it were just Karl-Anthony Towns that they asked for, right? Any sane person or any sane GM is making that deal 10 out of 10 times, right? Every day of the week, twice on Sundays. You give Karl-Anthony Towns up for Kevin Durant all the time. But when it comes to Anthony Edwards, that's a no-no, right? Why? Because Anthony Edwards is too young and has too much upside and too much potential to give up for Kevin Durant, particularly for Kevin Durant at this stage in his career. He's on the back nine of his career, right? You don't give up assets like Anthony Edwards for Kevin Durant. Now, I say this to say that the Brooklyn Nets are going to be driving a hard bargain with any team that they're bargaining with. But luckily for us, the Toronto Raptors, we have Masai Ujiri. We have Masai Ujiri. Masai Ujiri is one of the best executives in the entire NBA. He is one of the best GMs, best presidents in the entire NBA. I think him and Bob Myers of the Golden State Warriors are two of the best when it comes to the NBA, or two of the NBA's finest, right? So luckily for us, we have him on our side making our deals, and he also drives a hard bargain. He makes good deals, right? He makes good deals. So I rest easy at night knowing that that's who we have bargaining for us. Now, this is the thing. There's one player on the Toronto Raptors that I think is completely off limits. He's off limits, he's untouchable, he's untradeable for Kevin Durant. And this person has to be the reigning rookie, Scottie Barnes. I think, like Anthony Edwards, he's too young and has too much upside and too much potential to give up for Kevin Durant, who's 34 and has had multiple injuries in the last 2 years. But still, I think Toronto has some good pieces to trade for Kevin Durant. Now listen, I think outside of Golden State, I think Toronto can give the best deal to the Brooklyn Nets for Kevin Durant. Oh, obviously, if Golden State wanted to, they could give up like the best package. They could give up James Wiseman, Andrew Wiggins, a few draft picks. You give up so much. Like, the Warriors have so many assets that they could give up for Kevin Durant. And I know that, right? But the reason I rest easy is, would Kevin want to go to Golden State? And I don't think he would. So I rest easy knowing that we kind of have the edge over Golden State when it comes to that. So we are the forefront for landing Kevin Durant, and I think we have the best package to trade for him. I don't think Phoenix or Miami really give better packages than us. Maybe Miami, but I don't really think so. So what would I give up for Kevin Durant? If I were there negotiating for Kevin Durant, I think this is what we should give up for Kevin Durant. I want to give up assets for Kevin Durant, but I don't want to give up too many assets to the point where we get Kevin Durant, we're not able to compete. So we need to get Kevin Durant and still have a team around him that's going to enable him and allow him to compete for a title and allow us to compete for a title. And I think the best deal to do is to give up Pascal Siakam, our next year 2023 first round pick, 2024 second round pick, and then maybe one other player, right? One other player. I want to say Gary Trent Jr., but either that or we give a 2027 draft pick, right? I think that is a good bargain. That is a good deal for the Brooklyn Nets, especially for a star that does not want to be in Brooklyn anymore. Pascal Siakam last year was our best player. He was our leading scorer. Last year, this past season, he averaged 22.8 points, 5.8 assists, and 1 block. He was our best player. Last year, this past season, Kevin Durant averaged 30 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. Now, that is worth trading Pascal Siakam for. Now, I know Pascal Siakam is 28 and Kevin is 34, but I think Pascal Siakam as a player has hit his ceiling. I think this is the best Pascal Siakam is ever going to be. Your prime starts at 26 and ends around 33. Pascal Siakam is in his prime. You make that trade for Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant, just coming out of his prime, is better than Pascal Siakam in his prime. So you make that trade for Kevin Durant, and that's a significant improvement for best player on a team, for best leading scorer on a team. You jump from 22 points as your best scorer to 30. Now you're a threat, right? That puts you in striking distance of the championship. We would be one step closer to winning a championship. If Kevin Durant does land in Toronto, Kevin Durant would retire with the Toronto Raptors because he is on a 4-year deal, and this deal takes him to 38, right? So our potential starting lineup would be this: Kevin Durant, Scottie Barnes, Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby. All right, that's a really good team. That's a solid starting 5. And I think with Nick Nurse as our head coach, I think that gives us an edge on a lot of teams in the East to be the best team in the Eastern Conference. That is a championship caliber kind of team. Kawhi Leonard took a worse team, a worse starting 5 to the finals than this starting 5 would be. So we got to get this deal done. Now, if we can't get that deal done with Pascal Siakam, I think what we could also leverage the fact that Kyrie Irving also wants to leave the Brooklyn Nets. I think we could leverage that to our advantage and introduce the Lakers into the trade. Maybe we can make this a 3-way trade in which we and the Lakers could pull together assets to try and give the Brooklyn Nets enough assets to get the players that we want. Lakers walk away with Kyrie, we walk away with Kevin Durant. Now, I hate to speculate on hypothetical trades, but I think, in my opinion, the trade becomes much more feasible when you explain to Sean Marks, the GM of the Brooklyn Nets, that, hey, listen, next year you could have Russell Westbrook on your team with Pascal Siakam and Ben Simmons. That's a pretty good 3. That's good. That's a good big 3 if you want, especially for players that don't want to be in Brooklyn anymore, especially for players that has caused you nothing but headaches. But even if the Lakers aren't interested, we could get a different team in there, right? But I've also heard that the San Antonio Spurs have been involved in trades, 3-way trade between the Lakers, the Brooklyn Nets, to try and get Kyrie Irving to the Nets. Now, maybe we could enter in there and make this a 4-way trade, maybe a 3-way trade. It doesn't matter. What does matter is I think that however this trade goes down, I think that it's much more feasible and much more likely that it's going to be a 3-way trade because it's going to be a blockbuster trade, right? But still, I think we still have the best chance of landing Kevin Durant. I think we have a better chance than Phoenix does, than Miami does, right? So, and we still have Masai Ujiri, so we gotta hold hope, right? Raptors fan, keep hoping. We gotta get KD. We're gonna get KD. Fingers crossed. But yeah, those are just my thoughts. That's what I would give up for Kevin Durant. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, if you like this kind of content, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. It really helps out on the algorithm to get to more viewers like you. And aside from that, see you next time, kids.